When scientists looked at the images, they were surprised to see that the far side of the moon was completely different from the near side. This disparity was so great that no one expected it at all. Just 3 weeks earlier, steel metal hands were found. In total, 16 pairs of these hands were discovered. There was a time when space was a vast, endless mystery to mankind, but technological ingenuity ushered in a new era of exploration. The James Webb Telescope theory not only covers the shape of the moon, but also raises questions about why one side should be so different from the other, unless there is something strange going on. A revolutionary invention allows us to delve deeper into the cosmos, revealing what lurks in the darkness of space. Although we thought we knew the moon completely, we now realize that there is still much to explore, especially on its far side, shrouded in secrecy, but not for long. As we explored, we made the discovery of a huge structure on the dark side of the moon, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, which has revolutionized our study of space and our understanding of the cosmos. Among its many achievements are the revelation of thousands of previously unseen galaxies, as well as direct images of exoplanets that shed light on what exists beyond our solar system. The James Webb Space Telescope has provided answers to a number of questions. It is not just another tool, but one of the most significant ever created in human history. If the James Webb Space Telescope can improve our ability for understanding of galaxies and the solar system on such a massive scale, then it should be able to do even more for our celestial companion, the moon. Therefore, exploring the dark side of the moon should be an equally feasible task. But why do we call it the dark side of the moon dark? Contrary to what you might think, it is not because of the lack of light, but because of its mysterious and unknown nature, an enigma yet to be solved. Although we see the same lunar landscape every night, it is important to understand that this is only because one side of the moon is always facing the Earth, allowing us to see only one side of it. This phenomenon is a result of the moon's synchronized rotation, which means that it always presents the same face towards us as it orbits the Earth. Gravitational forces over millions of years have caused the synchronized rotation, aligning its rotation period with its orbital period. However, this does not mean that the other side of the moon, the dark side, is completely deprived of sunlight. In fact, it received the same amount of light as the illuminated side. Despite this, exploration of the far side of the moon presents unique challenges. The moon's considerable mass presents a challenge for direct communication, as radio waves from Earth cannot pass through it as they do through the Earth's atmosphere. The absence of an atmosphere on the moon acts as an obstacle to unrestricted exploration and the ability to conduct real-time missions. This challenge has led to a time when perseverance in space exploration is crucial. Nations such as the United States of America and China are racing to uncover the secrets the moon holds, resulting in new discoveries and research breakthroughs. For example, China's Change-4 mission, which landed on the dark side of the moon in 2019, discovered an unknown material that scientists believe could be part of a lunar mantle, providing valuable information about the moon's internal composition and its formation. However, some conspiracy theorists suggest that these findings could indicate the presence of extraterrestrial beings or hidden structures on the moon. In addition, mysterious lunar swirls have been observed on the dark surface, which scientists believe are formed by the interaction of the lunar magnetic field with the solar wind. However, these swirls are only found on one side of the moon, leaving the dark side with a mysterious appearance. Recently, the Chinese U-22 rover transmitted an intriguing image of an enigmatic structure on the lunar surface. A cube-like structure was seen on the horizon, and it was dubbed the mysterious hut. This generated speculation as to whether it was equipment debris or a part of something extraterrestrial. The debate reached its peak until U-22 transmission provided clarity. The mysterious hut was in fact a sizable rock, nicknamed the Jade Rabbit because of its striking resemblance. This revelation put an end to extraterrestrial theories and speculation about human presence in the past. In addition, translucent glass spheres were discovered on the far side, fueling more theories of extraterrestrial activity. Although discoveries of this type are not new on the Moon, these examples have distinctive characteristics. For example, the glass spheres discovered are noticeably larger than previous ones, with a light brown color and translucent nature that had intrigue to their composition. Could they be works of nature or other entities? Also, during the Apollo 10 mission in 1969, astronauts Eugene Cernan and Yang Yang heard a strange humming sound while flying around the dark side of the Moon. Although NASA attributed it to radio interference, there are theories suggesting that this could be an indication of extraterrestrial activity. Since the dark side of the Moon is blocked from radio signals from Earth, if extraterrestrial life is present there, it could explain the mysterious phenomena observed. Although it is claimed that there are signals that our technology cannot detect, claims of strange structures on the lunar surface are largely devoid of hard evidence. Nevertheless, these claims continue to fuel speculation about what might be hidden on the Moon's shadow side. Among these phenomena are the crystal formations and the enigmatic humming sound, raising the question of whether there is a darker reality behind these lunar secrets. In addition, there are other mysteries surrounding the Moon, including transient lunar phenomena, TLP, which are unusual flashes or glows of light that appear unpredictably on its surface. Although several theories have been proposed to explain TLPs, none have been conclusive. Some suggest that they could be the result of meteorite impacts, while others speculate about the possibility of volcanic activity hidden beneath the lunar surface. If these speculations turned out to be true, they could radically change our understanding of the Moon and its geological history. Of course, having implications that transcend the scientific realm and would give us a new perspective on our natural satellite.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The Apollo 11 mission will live on forever as one of mankind's most remarkable triumphs. So remember it as the remarkable expedition in which we sent a man to the lunar surface. In this case, it was two people, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who wrote their names in history by being the pioneers to walk on lunar soil. However, among the crew members of this mission, there was an astronaut less recognized than the two mentioned above. This astronaut answered to the name of Michael Collins, whose relevance is somewhat tenuous due to the unique role he played in the mission. Michael Collins has shed light on enigmatic secrets that the astronaut discovered on their excursion to the Moon. The question is, why has Collins chosen to talk about the mission at this time? And what is the nature of the discoveries that they made on the Moon? Discoveries on that evoke a feeling of unease. Join us as we uncover the mysterious secrets that the Apollo 11 astronaut has just revealed about his mission to the Moon, delving into the daunting aspects surrounding his lunar experience. If you're interested in keeping up to date with news from the universe and its surroundings, subscribe to our channel. Be sure to like this video, share it so it reaches more people, and activate the notification bell. Neil Armstrong's memorable scene as he took his first steps on the lunar surface is indelible in the collective memory. The statement he uttered, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," aptly summed up the magnitude of the occasion and would enhance the significance of the event. Following Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin joined the exploration of the lunar terrain, accompanying his fellow astronauts on this historic journey. Michael Collins, their third member of the mission, was unfortunately unable to share the lunar walk, as he had to remain in the command module. Throughout history, the Moon has captivated the imagination of mankind, being an object of fascination that our ancestors studied with limited tools in the absence of modern devices and telescopes. They explored its changing phases, measured the duration of lunar eclipses, and associated the celestial body with various mythological narratives and legends. In 1961, the United States launched the ambitious Apollo program, whose goal was to send a man to the moon and bring him back safely before the end of the decade. The pinnacle of this extraordinary program manifested itself in the historic Apollo mission, which lifted off on July 16, 1969, marking a milestone in space exploration. On July 20th, 1969, the world watched in awe as the spacecraft descended towards the lunar surface. The crew consisted of Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. After entering lunar orbit, Armstrong and Aldrin separated from Collins in the Eagle lunar module. At 2:56 a.m., the world held its breath as Armstrong took his first steps on the moon. Aldrin followed closely behind, and together they spent 2 hours collecting samples and conducting scientific experiments. After all these activities, the two astronauts concluded the mission by planting the American flag on the lunar surface. Afterward, the two reinforced with Collins in the command module to begin the return to Earth. On July 24, 1969, the trio landed in the Pacific Ocean, culminating this historic mission. Michael Collins, despite his lesser recognition, enjoyed a successful and brilliant career. He had excelled as a test pilot and astronaut. Some people dig into the time Michael Collins spent alone on the spacecraft, exploring how it might have influenced his psychological well-being. No doubt the mission probably left a deep mark on him, but what did he discover about himself and humanity as a whole? What thoughts ran through his lonely astronaut's mind during these moments alone on the spacecraft? When the lunar module carrying the crew members undocked and descended towards the lunar surface, Collins remained on the spacecraft to assume command, as previously mentioned. In the command module, they remained in orbit around the moon, away from the lunar surface. In total, they spent 21 hours in lunar orbit. In each lunar orbit, Collins spent 48 minutes in complete radio silence without hearing a word from his crewmates on the lunar surface or receiving any messages from Earth control. He was immersed in the darkness and emptiness of space, alone and silent. That kind of isolation gives a person plenty of room to reflect. On the far side of the moon, disconnected from his colleagues in mission control, Collins experienced a singular loneliness. Again and again, the cycle of silence and isolation repeated itself. However, Collins' perspective did not align with what one might have anticipated. While many might have felt overwhelmed by the silence, he described it as a deeper loneliness than a mere sense of isolation. Collins experienced complete isolation when he found himself on the far side of the moon during each orbit, due to the blocking effect on radio communication in that region. On the far side, electromagnetic waves, which are radio signals, suffer interference and blockage. These waves can travel through space, but they can also be absorbed by objects in their path. While Collins orbited behind the moon, he was completely disconnected from any terrestrial transmitter or receiver. Therefore, he could not communicate with his colleagues in mission control or with anyone on Earth. This situation was especially unique for Collins, as he became the first person to venture to the far side of the moon. Although he did not set foot on that side of the moon and was only in orbit, he is still the first human to have experienced that hidden part of our satellite. The far side of the moon is a place of great interest and mystery that presents unique opportunities for exploration, despite the challenges involved. Collins became the first human to experience the profound solitude that this hidden side of the moon provides, and for him, those moments were serene. As he floated in deep space, contemplating the Earth from a different perspective in the vastness of the cosmos, the silence endowed him with the ability to look at things from a different perspective and admire the beauty of our planet. In that period, Collins must have become aware of his own smallness in the immense canvas of the universe. While busy and focused on the success of the mission and his role on Apollo 11, he also spent time thinking and calculating procedures with the other crew members at that time. He prepared intensely for the next steps. Collins recalls finding pleasure in this time alone and experiencing a strange sense of peace and, to some extent, contentment. For him, solitude in that context represented a remarkable contrast to the usual hustle and bustle and intensity associated with a space mission. While orbiting the moon, Collins witnessed an exceptional perspective that only a few humans have had the privilege of witnessing. From orbit, Collins was able to view the far side of the moon in all its magnificence, a cratered landscape that had remained unchanged and hidden from view from the Earth. As it circled the moon, he watched the Earth rise on the lunar horizon, floating blue sphere, small and fragile in contrast to the infinite vastness of space. This experience was profoundly shocking to Collins and left an indelible mark on him. The unique and almost vulnerable view of the Earth as he observed it from the moon evoked in Collins feelings of deep connection and paradoxically insignificance. In his eyes, the Earth and all its myriad inhabitants were reduced to a tiny blue dot on the immense cosmic canvas. This perspective is often referred to as the global vision effect. The experience of this effect had a profound impact on Collins' perception of our planet and its position in the vast universe during that mission. Witnessing such an evocative view of the universe and having moments of silence to reflect on what he had witnessed, Collins experienced a keen sense of interconnectedness of all life on Earth.
When Neil deGrasse Tyson shared information about the remarkable discovery made by India, it attracted everyone's attention. India aimed to land on the south pole of the moon to verify the presence of water in the craters. This was no ordinary astronomical discovery. Rather, it was a finding that changed our understanding of Earth's satellites. To understand what India discovered and why it is causing so much interest in the cosmos, it is important to go back to Russia's first contact with the moon. In the records of space exploration, there are moments that leave a lasting mark on our collective mind. One such milestone occurred in early 1996, when the world witnessed the successful landing of the Luna 9 mission, a Russian space mission that became the first to achieve a soft landing on the moon. Not only did it land safely, but it also sent back stunning panoramic images of our natural satellites. Luna 9 was no ordinary spacecraft. Its design was innovative and strategic, weighing 99 kilograms and with a diameter of 58 centimeters. This spacecraft was equipped with 4 retractable legs that were deployed once Luna 9 landed safely. These pedals had a dual function once deployed. First, their purpose was to stabilize the spacecraft, ensuring that it remained upright. Second, their deployment was intended to reveal the crucial instruments the spacecraft was carrying. The spacecraft was equipped with a variety of high-tech equipment, including a radio communication system, a set of solid-state detectors to measure radiation, and a thermal control system to manage temperature fluctuations. One of the most captivating instruments was its television camera, which was strategically mounted on a platform with the ability to rotate and scan the vast lunar horizon. When Luna 9 began operations, the lunar views it captured were absolutely mesmerizing. These images show a terrain full of contrasts, with rugged craters alongside rolling hills and undulating mountains. Undisturbed by human activity, these images were so mesmerizing that the Joe Drill Bank Observatory in England received them, and they soon made headlines in the Daily Express. However, Luna 9's mission was not limited to image capture. The spacecraft embarked on crucial scientific investigations and meticulously recorded the lunar temperature, documenting extremes ranging from a frigid negative 153 degrees Celsius at night to a scorching 123 degrees Celsius during the day. In addition, it revealed the virtually non-existent lunar atmosphere, with pressure that was 1/1,000,000th of what we experience on Earth. Luna 9 not only limited itself to observation, but interacted directly with the lunar surface, conducting a basic soil mechanics experiment. In this experiment, Luna 9 exerted pressure on the lunar regolith, and the results were very enlightening. The lunar regolith showed a resistance of at least 0.4 kilograms per square centimeter. This fundamental finding indicated that the lunar surface was solid enough to support the weight of future landers and even rovers. However, despite its significant accomplishments, the Luna 9 mission came to an end after a relatively brief period of approximately 3 days on the moon. This was due to the spacecraft's batteries running down, but during its time on the moon, it managed to transmit a total of 8 fascinating images, and several batches of data of great scientific value. Luna 9 led the way for future lunar exploration and was followed by the Luna 13 mission, which landed on the moon on December 24th of the same year. This mission continued the legacy of Luna 9, conducting similar experiments and deepening research on the moon. Recently, the world witnessed a milestone in space exploration when India opened a new chapter with its Chandrayaan-3 mission. This mission was not only significant for India, but also for future global lunar exploration efforts, a region that has long been shrouded in mystery, particularly the lunar South Pole, which promised important scientific discoveries, but also presented complex challenges. The Chandrayaan-3 mission was an undertaking of complex design and ambition, consisting of 3 components, each dedicated to distinct but interconnected tasks. The orbiter, equipped with 8 scientific instruments, was tasked with observing and analyzing the lunar surface and atmosphere from a circular orbit located about 100 kilometers above the moon. Accompanying the orbiter was a lander, named Vikram, in honor of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the visionary founder of the Indian Space Research Organization, also known as ISRO. Vikram was not only a symbolic tribute, but a critical component equipped with 4 essential instruments to record data on temperature variations, seismic activities, plasma density, and lunar surface composition. Last but not least was Pragyan, a rover whose name is derived from the Sanskrit word meaning wisdom. In keeping with its name, Pragyan was a vehicle of knowledge on wheels, and as it traversed the lunar surface, its 2 instruments worked tirelessly to uncover details about the mineralogy and elemental composition of the soil. The journey to the moon began on July 14, 2023, at the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, India, when the trusty launch vehicle, known as the PSLV rocket, carried Chandrayaan-3 on its historic maiden voyage. However, this journey was not a direct one. Instead, the spacecraft performed a delicate dance around the Earth for a week, waiting for the right moment and gaining momentum. On July 21, 2023, Chandrayaan-3 began the next phase of its journey. It performed an injection maneuver calculated to be captured by lunar gravity, which put it into an elliptical orbit around our natural satellites. But the ISR team had not finished fine-tuning its trajectory. Over the next few weeks, they performed a series of orbit-raising and lowering maneuvers with meticulous precision. Finally, they succeeded in positioning Chandrayaan-3 in an optimal circular orbit, located about 100 kilometers from the lunar surface by August 19, 2023. After this achievement, attention turned to Vikram's descent and Pragyan's lunar expedition. Following the meticulous orbital dance of the Chandrayaan-3 orbiter, on August 23, 2023, came the moment when lander Vikram ventured on his daring descent toward the lunar South Pole. Neil deGrasse Tyson expressed his enthusiasm and optimism for the Chandrayaan-2 mission and shared his thoughts with the world, stressing that the mission was no mean feat. India joined a select group of nations by landing on the moon, becoming the 4th nation to do so after the United States, Russia, and China. Its goal was to lead the exploration of the moon's south polar region, which raised expectations around the world. However, space exploration is fraught with uncertainties, and the Chandrayaan-2 mission faced a heartbreaking moment when its lander lost communication with Earth during the critical descent phase, resulting in an impact on the moon. Despite the disappointment shared by India and the world, Tyson's words provided encouragement and motivation by pointing out that space adventures are inherently challenging, and that setbacks do not mean the end, but a spur to try again with renewed vigor. In 2023, India was ready to rewrite its lunar history, drawing on the lessons of the past and its unwavering spirit. The country launched the Chandrayaan-3 mission, and this time, the stars aligned in its favor. India achieved what it had failed to achieve 4 years earlier, a successful landing near the moon's elusive and unexplored South Pole. When news of this achievement spread, Tyson was among the first to praise India's tenacity and celebrate its accomplishments. He said, "This success represents not only a victory for India, but also a significant advance for scientific curiosity and global progress." India has secured a prominent place in lunar exploration and contributed to global scientific knowledge. But what makes the moon's south pole so special? Neil deGrasse Tyson, with his ability to simplify complex scientific concepts, shed light on the importance of this lunar region. The moon's south pole is a veritable goldmine for researchers, as it harbors craters that, mirrored in perpetual shadow, may contain water ice. This ice is a vital resource for life and a potential source of rocket fuel. In addition, there are peaks that enjoy constant exposure to sunlight, making them ideal locations for solar energy collection. Beyond these practical resources, the ancient rocks of the South Pole also promise to be an invaluable source of knowledge, providing clues to the shared history of the Moon and Earth. The Indian Chandrayaan-3 mission's journey to the Moon's South Pole had as its cornerstone its dedication to investigating the presence and distribution of water and other crucial substances on the Moon, especially in the vicinity of its South Pole. This made this region particularly fascinating, as it harbored craters permanently obscured by sunlight, where it is believed water ice could be hidden, a treasure trove for future human expeditions and settlement. Let us know what you think in the comments box. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe.